Guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's talk Leeds. First of all, apologies for the sound of my voice. Still got a horrific cold. Um, but yes, going to be a bit of a different and fun one today. I'm going to get into my season predictions. We're going to finish off with the league table, and also going to look at who I think is going to be the player of the season, young player of the season, top goal scorer, and breakout star. Um, Obviously the final league position, you fill it out in that computer generator and you start to lose your mind a bit going through it. It takes forever. I'd done the one where you just pick who wins or draws rather than putting a scoreline in because it's just too hard to guess that. I'd be interested to see how close it is at the end of the season. And if you haven't already had a go, have a go. I used a site called what was it called? It's called thefishy.co.uk. And it's one where you don't have to put a scoreline in. It just, makes it a bit quicker, but you're still selecting who you think is going to win or lose. Before we get into it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Sometimes I forget to ask, but it does really help the channel when you click like because it puts it out there on the algorithm for other people to see. But we're going to jump into it. So we're going to start off with who I think is going to be our player of the season. Now, I think this is quite a popular opinion, and it's sort of clear why. Ethan Ampadu is going to be, I think, he's going to be a player of the season. I think he's going to have a terrific year. You can see from the first, just from the 2 or 3 games that he's played, it feels like he's played for Leeds for like 4 years. Like he's just so calm, assured. He's good on the ball, and he's a centre back by trade. And he just walks around people easily. He's not afraid to have a shot if he's in the position in and around the box. And I just think he's aggressive in the tackle. He covers the fullbacks well if needed. He's ordering the defence around. He's ordering the keeper around. He's pointing everywhere. He's captain material. He won't be captain, but he is captain material. And I can't believe we got him for 7 million. Like, I'm stunned that we got him for such a good fee because he looks like an absolute baller, and I think he's going to be our player of the season. Like, I think he's going to have a terrific year. I'd be very shocked if he didn't have an amazing season. So I think Ethan Ampadu is going to be our player of the season. Delighted we've got him. Excited to see him starting Sunday. Next up, we have young player of the season, Archie Gray. Now, this one wasn't like there's not many people we could pick for this one, so it was only a sort of small sample size, and I think it was quite easy to choose Archie Gray. I'm not sure how much he will play this season. Obviously, it depends with what happens with Tyler Adams and stuff. And also we've got Darko JB there, etc. But from what we can see, I mean, Archie Gray has the best future ahead of him. And for him personally, I think us getting relegated to the Championship is probably the best thing that could have happened for him because it means he's going to see minutes. It means he's going to see some grass. If we're in the Premier League, he isn't. He wouldn't have played much. I don't think he would have been a cup option and maybe not. Maybe come on a sub every now and again. But now we're down to the Championship. I think he will be more than comfortable at this level. You've already seen him in pre-season. He looks so calm and astute on the ball, and like a bit like Nonto. If you just saw them play without knowing their age, you wouldn't think he's a young lad. What is he, 17, 18, 17? His footballing IQ is very high. He's very calm. He's very assured, and he looks like someone who will just fit easily into a Farker system. He doesn't look overwhelmed. If he makes a mistake, you never see his head on the floor. And like you do with Harrison, you see Harrison make a mistake and his head's on the floor for the rest of the game. Archie Gray, a couple of times he done a misplaced pass, he just gets on with it and it just cracks on. And I really like him. I'm not sure if it will be starting, although I think he could, but I think he's going to have a terrific season and he's going to be very useful to have. Obviously, other people that this could have been could have been like Darko JB, Lewis Bate, but I don't see them having as much as a role of Archie Gray. Obviously, Archie Gray can play right back as well. Like we saw him for England playing right back and doing really well. But we've got Ayling and Drame there, so I'm not sure how much he'll play there. But all in all, I think he's got a massive role to play this season, and yeah, I think he'll be our young player of the season. Breakout star. Now, hear me out. Normally, breakout star means a youngster bursting onto the scene. But I sort of adjusted it a little bit. I think, excuse me, I think we can also use this phrase for someone who has been at the club for a while and has never really hit the ground running, never really excelled. And, Dan James has had a real tough time of it. Been played as a centre forward under Bielsa, absolute useless there. Sometimes you get away with having a small striker, but not in Dan James' instant. Like it just completely played out of position. Then he got shipped out and loaned to Fulham, and he's had a horrible time of it. And now under Daniel Farker, I think Daniel Farker really rates Dan James. I think Dan James has looked brilliant in pre-season, maybe one of our best players in pre-season, if I'm being totally honest with you. And I think he has a real role to play next season. I think he'll be starting out on the left, and I think I know Nonto and Sinistera look good there, but I think Dan James has got that position. I really do. Cardiff at home, 5 days time. If Dan James isn't starting out there, I'd be very surprised. Obviously, Sinistera and Nonto and that, you'll get them in a team somewhere because they're just brilliant. But Dan James, I think Daniel Farker really rates him. I think he'll put him out there. I think he's took to like a duck to water to Daniel Farker's style of play, and also his final delivery is improving. Everyone, and Dan James, we've always known how much pace he's got, but his final delivery's always let him down. But now I think we're starting to see that improving. He scored a brilliant goal, which was obviously disallowed because was it Bamford failed to keep or got in his way or whatever. But yeah, I think he's had a brilliant pre-season. Daniel Farker's always rated him. He tried to sign him when he was manager of Norwich. And I think Dan James is going to have a terrific season. I mean, I don't think he's going to set the world alight in terms of numbers. I think he'll score around, 6 or 7 goals, hopefully, and maybe about the same in assists, which would be decent, which would be a decent return. But I think we're going to see a real strong season from Dan James, and yeah, I'm excited to see it because he's been at the club for a few years now and he's never really had an opportunity. And I think this year will be his moment in the sun under Farker. I think Daniel Farker's has put his arm around him and said, look, forget what's been before. This is a new start for us all, and I really rate you. And we saw from Dan James' interview how up for the season he is. And yeah, I think Dan James will be our breakout star. I know it's not your typical breakout star. Normally it's a youngster, as I said, but we're going to amend it for this one. And last of all, top goal scorer, this man. Now, bit of a caveat to this. Obviously, it depends how many games he plays, how his injuries go, and if he's even here come September. But if Sinistera can play 35 games, and have an injury-free season, which may seem a bit unlikely, but if he can, which is still possible, he is absolutely going to cook the Championship alive. Like I'm talking, he's going to set records, I think, because there's no one in the Championship even near Sinistera's level. We still haven't seen the best of him because he's always returning from injury or whatever. But if he can stay fit, he will cook the Championship alive. And also, you've got to bear in mind, it might be a bit easier for us to keep him fit. Like if there's games where we're 2-0 up, we might just hook him off in the 50th, 60th minute. He'll get more rest as well, because I'm hoping, we've got enough players here to win games without him if needed. But if Sinistera can stay fit, and I don't even know where we're basing on him playing, right wing, in the 10, wherever he's playing, on the left, if Dan James isn't fit or whatever, Sinistera is going to cook. Like, I think he'll score 20 goals for us, 25. I really do. I'd be shocked if he scored anything less than 15, Sinistera, if he has a season where he's actually playing and not injured. But yeah, Sinistera, he's well above. You know, when you get relegated, you look around and you think, these these players aren't too good for the championship. Sinistera is. He's a top 6 Premier League player on his day if he's fit. So if we can manage to keep hold of him, him alone, I think, will fire us to promotion. Yeah, Sinistera top goal scorer for me, which takes me nicely on to the last bit. Uh, predicting where we're going to finish. As I said, I used a website called Fishy where I didn't put in the scores. So ignore the goal difference. Ignore the goal difference. For some teams, it says 0. For some teams, it says plus and minus. It just generated the goal difference by itself. So just ignore the goal difference. I just clicked home, win, draw, or away for every single fixture. It still took ages, but I didn't want to do the one where you put in like 3-1, 0-0. I'd have been here all day. So I put a lot of thought into it, though. I didn't just rush through it. I did carefully pick who I think is going to win these games, and I tried to even include like form and stuff. So yeah, here's my final championship table come May. Where is it? Here we go. So we're going to start off at the bottom of the table just to add a bit of suspense. Cardiff, QPR and Rotherham relegated for me. Now, QPR, before I'd done this, I would have just put them about mid-table. But for some reason, it's ended up like this. I've predicted them just to lose a lot of games. So whether I actually think QPR will get relegated or not, I don't know. But I do think Rotherham and Cardiff will. And I think it could be Huddersfield instead of QPR. But as we go up the table, nice mid-table, Norwich 15th. Oh, I've only just noticed that. Well, yeah, I think Norwich are going to struggle next season by the looks of it. Now, Sunderland are just going to miss out on the playoffs. So here we go, guys. Champions, back to the Prem, HMS Pistol League. I think we're going to win it. I think we're going to win the league, guys. And when I was doing this, it doesn't update as you go along. You just click submit at the end and then it does it for you, right? So I wasn't biased anyway. I wasn't thinking, we need to get 3 more points to win this league, or I wasn't even keeping track of it. I just honestly filled out every single game for every single club. And yes, champions, Leeds United, 94 points. Second place, Southampton, 91 points. And then a bit of a gap back to third place, Ipswich. Fourth place, Middlesbrough. Leicester in 5th. Do you know what? I actually think Leicester could struggle to even get in the playoffs. But yeah, I ended up with them in 5th place. I think they could come 7th or 8th. I could think that could be Sunderland there instead. And Coventry in 6th. I think Leicester, it's been a bit underestimated how much their team has been shot to pieces. They've lost so many players on free transfers. Yes, they got fees for Barnes and Maddison, but I heard rumours that was just plugging a massive debt that they had. They've lost, whereas you look at us, right? And this is the reason I think we're going to win the league. So far, the people that have left, personally, I couldn't give 2 hoots about. Rasmus Christiansen, Aronson, Lorente, Koch, Rocker, I don't really care. Like we still haven't lost. At the time of speaking on the 1st of August, 5 days until Cardiff, we still haven't lost anyone who I'm remotely bothered about. We've still got Sinistera, Nonto, Adams, Harrison, Meslier to a degree, Bamford to a degree, Dan James. We've got the players returning from loan, Cresswell, Drame. We've got people like Archie Gray. JB, we've signed Ampadu, we've got Kyle Darlow, we're going to sign some more players. I still think, I'm still expecting us to lose some of these players, by the way, like Adams, maybe, Nonto. But I think we've kept the nucleus of the team. And I think the 49ers so far have done really well with that. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks, obviously. But even if people like Nonto and Harrison go, Somerville, I still think we're gonna win the league, and I think we're gonna get promoted at a canter, and I think it's gonna be out of Southampton, a 2-horse race for the title. So yeah, obviously can't read too much into that. It's just little old Lloyd from Brighton predicting the table. I done it. I did do it. I did put some thought into it though, and as I said, ignore the goal difference. Like it says, we got 0 goal difference after winning the league. So that was just because I didn't put in all the scores. I didn't put in the correct score line, and it just auto generates the goal difference. It's obviously a bit of a glitch or whatever, but Leeds United champions in my prediction. Ampadu for player of the season. Archie Gray for young player of the season. Breakout star Dan James. Top scorer Sinistera. Please, guys, get your comments in. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you think we're going to finish. I enjoy reading all your comments. And I try and reply to them all. No, I think you'll barely find any that I haven't replied to. Like and subscribe to the video and subscribe to the channel, please. It really helps. I appreciate all your support. I hit 1K about a week ago, and all of a sudden we're approaching 1,200. So it's been brilliant. There's going to be more content as the season comes out. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall be back very soon.